The auditorium lights buzzed overhead like angry insects, casting long shadows across the rows of folding chairs where the entire faculty and senior class sat in uneasy silence. The air smelled of old varnish and nervous sweat. Principal Hargrove stood at the podium, his tie crooked as always, but today his usual affable smile had been replaced by something tighter, more brittle. Beside him, Vice Principal Elena Marquez, sharp cheekbones, sharper eyes, stood with her arms crossed, her navy blazer buttoned to the throat like armor. Her daughter, Sofia Marquez, 16 and already carrying herself like she owned the building, perched on the edge of the stage, legs crossed, chin high. She looked bored. She always looked bored when she wasn't looking triumphant. I sat in the front row, third seat from the aisle, exactly where they told me to sit. My hands rested on my knees, palms damp. The small digital recorder in my blazer pocket felt heavier than it should have, as though it knew what was coming. Principal Hargrove cleared his throat. The microphone squealed once, then settled. "Thank you all for coming on such short notice," he began. "We're here to address a serious incident that occurred yesterday afternoon in the East Hallway. An altercation involving 2 students and a staff member. We believe it's important to handle this transparently, in front of the community, so that everyone understands the consequences of disrespect and violence." He paused, letting the word violence hang in the air like smoke. "Ms. Rivera," he said, turning to me. "Please stand." I stood. Legs steady. Heart hammering so hard I could feel it in my teeth. Vice Principal Marquez stepped forward before Hargrove could continue. Her voice cut through the room like a blade. "Let's not waste time with pleasantries," she said. "Yesterday, Ms. Rivera, our guidance counselor, physically assaulted my daughter, Sofia. She shoved her against a locker, called her names, and threatened her. In front of witnesses. Multiple witnesses. And now she sits here pretending she's the victim." A murmur rippled through the room. Heads turned. Eyes widened. I felt them all on me. Sofia uncrossed her legs and leaned forward slightly, a small, satisfied smile tugging at her lips. Marquez continued, each word deliberate. "I've spoken with Principal Hargrove. We agree this cannot be tolerated. Ms. Rivera, you will apologize to my daughter right here, right now, in front of everyone. You will admit what you did. You will express remorse. And then you will resign. Effective immediately." The silence that followed was thick enough to choke on. I didn't move. Marquez's eyes narrowed. "Do you understand me?" I met her gaze. "I understand you want an apology." "I want justice," she snapped. "My daughter was humiliated. She came home crying. She's been crying all night. Do you have any idea what that does to a child?" I let the question sit for a second. Then I spoke quietly, so quietly that people in the back rows leaned forward. "I have a very good idea what it does to a child." Marquez's jaw tightened. "Excuse me?" I reached into my pocket. Slowly. Deliberately. The recorder came out, black and unassuming, the red record light still dark. I held it up between 2 fingers like a playing card. "I'd like to play something first," I said. Hargrove frowned. "Ms. Rivera, this isn't." "Please," I said, softer. "Just listen." I pressed play. Static hissed for half a second. Then Sofia's voice, clear and sharp, filled the auditorium. "You think you're so special, don't you, Mia? Little scholarship girl with her sad little backpack and her sad little life." A pause. A muffled sob, someone else's. Sofia again, closer now, almost whispering. "You tell anyone what I said, and I'll make sure your mom loses her cleaning job here." My mom's the vice principal. You think she won't do it? She'll do it in a heartbeat. And then your mom will be out on the street, and you'll be back in that shitty apartment with no food stamps. You want that? Another voice, smaller, trembling. Mia's. Please, Sofia. I didn't mean. Shut up. Sofia's tone flattened. You're nothing. You're invisible. And if you ever look at me again, I'll make sure everyone knows what your dad did before he left. I've got screenshots. I've got everything. One text, and your whole life is over. The recording crackled. Footsteps. Then my voice, yesterday's voice, cutting in. Sofia. That's enough. A scuffle. Sofia laughing, hi, cruel. Oh look, Counselor Rivera to the rescue. What are you gonna do, write me a referral? Ground me? My voice again, low, shaking with anger. Step away from her. Now. Then the sound of Sofia shoving Mia harder against the locker. A thud. A gasp. And Sofia's final words, hissed like venom. You're dead, Mia. You're all dead. I pressed stop. The auditorium was dead quiet. Sofia's face had gone the color of old paper. Her hands gripped the edge of the stage so hard her knuckles were white. Marquez stared at the recorder in my hand as though it were a gun. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. That's edited, she said. Her voice cracked on the last word. That can't be. It's not edited, I said. It's time-stamped. Yesterday, 3:17 p.m. East Hallway, outside room 214. I started recording the second I saw Sofia corner Mia against the lockers. I didn't say a word until I had to. I didn't touch anyone until Sofia pushed Mia so hard her head hit the metal and she started crying. I pulled Sofia back. That's the only physical contact. And even then, I didn't shove. I restrained. Because she was going to hit Mia again. Marquez shook her head. You're lying. My daughter wouldn't. Your daughter, I said, has been terrorizing Mia for 6 months. I have the emails Mia's mother sent me. The texts. The photos of bruises on Mia's arms. I have the report Mia filed with me 3 weeks ago that mysteriously disappeared from the office files. I have the security footage request I submitted that was denied by your signature. I have everything. I turned to Principal Hargrove. I didn't come here to resign. I came here because Mia's mother begged me not to let this go quiet. Because Mia hasn't slept in weeks. Because she's afraid to walk the halls. Because she thinks she's nothing. Hargrove's face was gray. He looked at Marquez. Elena? Marquez's eyes flicked to Sofia. Sofia was crying now, silent, furious tears. She didn't look bored anymore. She looked small. Mom, Sofia whispered. Mom, Marquez didn't move. Her arms were still crossed, but the posture had changed. It wasn't armor anymore. It was the last thing holding her together. I took a step forward. I'm not asking for an apology from Sofia. I'm asking you to see what she's done. And what you've allowed. The silence stretched. Then Marquez spoke, voice barely above a whisper. I didn't know. You didn't want to know, I said. She flinched. Hargrove cleared his throat again, but the sound was weak. We'll need to investigate this. Fully. Transparently. Marquez turned to him. She's right. The footage. The files. Pull them. Now. Hargrove nodded once, sharply. I looked at Sofia. She wouldn't meet my eyes. I'm not your enemy, I told her quietly. But I'm not going to let you destroy someone else to feel powerful. Not anymore. Marquez finally uncrossed her arms. Her hands shook. She really looked at me, for the first time. I thought, she swallowed. I thought you hated her. I thought you were jealous. I thought. You thought I was the problem, I finished. Because it was easier. She didn't deny it. The auditorium lights buzzed again. Someone in the back coughed. The spell broke. Hargrove stepped to the microphone. "Everyone, please remain seated. We're going to adjourn to my office. Ms. Rivera, Ms. Marquez, Sofia, please come with me." I nodded. As we walked past the rows of stunned faces, I felt Mia's mother in the third row back. She was crying 2 quiet, grateful tears. She reached out and squeezed my hand as I passed. I squeezed back. Marquez walked ahead of me, shoulders hunched. Sofia trailed behind, head down, arms wrapped around herself. At the auditorium doors, Marquez stopped. She turned to me. "I don't know how to fix this," she said. "You start by listening," I told her. "Really listening?" She nodded once. A small, broken motion. Then she pushed the doors open and stepped into the hallway, where the rest of the school waited, unaware, for now, that everything had just changed. I followed. The recorder stayed in my pocket, warm against my side. It had done its job. And for the first time in months, I could breathe.